I'm David Flint, and I'm interviewing Rick Brown, who was the ACM's director during the Victorian director during the 1999 referendum. And in earlier ones of these, I've explained that he was also effectively our national strategist. Well, we know, Rick, that the ALP was committed. They were absolutely committed to the Republic, the only major party that took a position in the terms of telling their voters how to vote and handing out a ticket which said vote yes. What was your strategy to get ALP votes? And did you work with Labour Party people? I mean, people who were heading, for example, electoral branches and so on during the campaign?
The answer to that was the answer in an organisational sense was no. We had huge challenges in Victoria. Pretty well the whole of business was supporting yes. Virtually every celebrity in town was supporting yes. Most of the key people in the Liberal Party were supporting yes. Nicole Feeney, who had been John Howard's Chief of Staff in '96, by then was with the Victorian Employers Federation or whatever, she was out actively supporting yes. The three state parliamentary leaders, that's Nats, Liberal, Labor, had the joint picky on the steps of Parliament House supporting yes.
That was the only instance, was it, in Australia where the Nationals also?
Yes.
They're not that significant in Victoria, I understand. But
they're less significant now than what they were then. Since '99, and it's a subject for another day, but it actually goes to these whole cultural issues, that their level of parliamentary representation has fallen substantially.
They used to actually head some Victorian governments, did they not?
Sorry?
There was a time when the Nationals sometimes would have headed the Victorian government. The Premier would have been a National.
No, is the answer to that. No, it's always Liberal. There was a time in the 50s where they talked about doing an amalgamation with Labor, but no, they've never been the senior party.
And they never had a country party supported by Labor?
The answer is in the 50s. Just before the split, or around about the split, the answer certainly, I think the answer is actually yes.
That's what I thought.
They certainly were about to.
I thought my spectacular memory could not have failed.
Sorry?
I thought my spectacular memory could not have failed.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. No, it was around about the time of the split.
Yes,
is the answer. And just diverting, Balti was actually worried about that possibility in the 1960s, and he was worried that the DLP would actually preference the Labor Party. And it was Balti's concerns that led to the introduction of state aid, because that was the price of DLP preferences in that election. But it's never formally happened. But what we had a situation was that the National Party rank and file and the National Party organisation were solidly with us, and they gave us huge support. The Liberal Party, it was literally a case of going branch by branch, because we were getting no support from the management committee. I mean, you had Peter Costello out supporting the yes case, Andrew Robb was out supporting the yes case. Probably 2/3 of the parliamentary party were out supporting the yes case. So we were literally having to go branch by branch. And then on the Labor side, the way that we would have picked up Labor voters wasn't directly through ALP branches at all, but it was through community groups. I mean, obviously, we were absolutely out in the highways and byways, getting people to staff polling booths and all the rest of it, absolutely. And talking to anybody, any organisation that essentially was predisposed to what I would describe as a conservative philosophical position.
The Country Women's Association, the
all of that, yes, all of that and more, yes. And within the ranks of those organisations, there's all sorts, as you well know. But the truth of the matter was, I simply wasn't worried about the ALP leadership, because even by the end of the 90s, it was patently clear that they were an inner suburban party. John Button, a former federal minister, famously said, and this was a few years later, that essentially ALP membership stopped at the end of the tram tracks. Which is true.
Only a Melbourneian could say that.
yes. But it sums it all up.
Yes.
And
didn't even Gough Whitlam said that he, in later life, he said, I would never be pre-selected as a Labour Party candidate.
Yes.
He was seen as not the right sort of person.
Oh, well, it's true. Well, in New South Wales, the person who is absolutely scathing about the transformation of the Labour Party is Rod Cavalier. He's absolutely scathing. And he's right.
Didn't Kim Beazley's father say that
yes.
that famous saying about it once used to contain the elite of the working class?
Yeah, the cream of the working class. When he joined the Labor Party, it was the cream of the working class. By the time he got out, it was the dregs.
The dregs of the city, of the local elites, yes.
Yes. So the answer to your question was that it was really branch by branch. It was community group by community group. The exception was the National Party. And I said, and they did a lot of work.
Yes, and it's very difficult to go to politicians when their party mandates, particularly the Labour Party, which has a strong belief in the platform being binding.
Well, when you've got, take the Liberals, when you've got your federal parliamentary leader out being very active, that has the same effect.
Yes, good. Well, thank you very much for that.